Apparently, fewer Americans under 50 are getting divorced these days, but more of them are cheating, apparently, especially women. Half of the people who mess around still say they're happily married. So why is everybody freaking out?
Because they're not. The problem is then people are not getting caught as much as they used to, which I don't understand. Because years ago you had to have lipstick on the collar. Now it's all over social media. Everybody knows everything. Your credit card. You leave trails everywhere. So I don't get that.
Well, maybe people don't care as much.
Yeah, I think part of it is people are choosing to stay married in the face of cheating. Like I know
well,
the
that's
research.
You. I know you would do it.
I would do that, but Manny doesn't know that. But I know the stats say 90% of people who cheat, their spouses never find out about it, but I think those that do find out just choose to stay there, because they also say that millennials are more honest with themselves and that the younger generation is more realistic about long-term relationships.
Well, that's true. Monogamy is monotonous.
Or because they're cheating, they're not getting a divorce. They're finding their needs outside of
Or maybe they've made a decision that that's not the thing that's going to break the relationship.
I ask now, by the way, sometimes when I meet new couples, like, are you in an open relationship? I know people who are polyamorous. It is a different era right now in a lot of different ways. I will say, me personally, Ben and I sleep with 2 shotguns under our bed. I catch him cheating, you better start gunning running. Period. That's it. I'm not kidding. I mean, I wouldn't actually inflict violence, but I could never accept cheating.
Truthfully, I don't think it works. I think that it doesn't work. It doesn't even work in France.
You make an open
relationship.
Eventually,
everybody gets jealous.
It actually can if people have a different.
If they're on the same.
I know someone who's in a polyamorous relationship, and they all seem very happy.
What does that mean?
And they're both
polyamorous. What does that
More
mean?
than two.
Means a lot of
More
love.
than two.
They're all together, and they all live together.
Yeah.
They're all living
How
together?
long has that been going on?
I haven't had permission to
How long?
Like a married couple? Wait. A married couple is living with other people?
The one thing I will say is that I appreciate having friends and knowing people that don't abide by like the same clear boundaries that I do, and whatever works for you, makes you happy, legal and consensual, go with that.
But are they married?
They're not married.
Oh,
But there are
they're
people
all together, though,
who are married that have a third person, and I have to say,
living with them.
Yes, living with
Keeps
them.
it interesting.
And I have to say that
I mean, I don't have one, but
well, what am I?
we've been meaning to sit you down and talk to you.
It's time to move. No, but I think that people who make that decision up front, but so that there's no question. It's like, this is who I am, this is where I'm at, and if this works for you, great.
I can't do it.
No, well, but you know that, and so someone who would come to you and say, you know,
I never assume anything
anymore. You're going to be faking orgasms for 2 guys now?
I'm not in a polyamorous relationship.
And that's how old-fashioned. That's how old-fashioned. Joy, she just assumes it's another guy.
First of all, Joy, there's one thing you should know about me. I don't fake anything, number one. Number two, don't make assumptions about people. People are in different kinds of relationships, it's a different kind of world. I never assume anything anymore, ever.
So stop questioning my relationship with my cat. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for being with us, Mr. President.
Fox News is the president's go-to network.
He has already accumulated an amazing record of accomplishments.
So why hasn't Trump agreed to an interview with chief political anchor Bret Baier?
President Trump, I assume you know you will be treated fairly here.
He's live in Hot Topics next.
Cable news network that we know President Trump watches, so maybe he's tuning in to see their chief political anchor hit the Hot Topics table right now. Please welcome author of the new book, 3 Days in Moscow, Bret Baier.
Thanks for having me.
It's so nice to see you.
Good to see you. I miss you.
I loved working with you so much. Just really quick before we start, your incredible wife, Amy, is here. I am so happy to see you, too. You are my couple goals. You know my husband, Ben. We've been married so long, and I love that you have, people need to know you have a really strong woman behind
I definitely do. I'm a lucky man. I'm playing above the rim, as you can see.
Well, I'm just the two of you together, or do you have a third person living with you?
I don't. I did hear about that.
Right?
I'm not sure.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. We don't, do we, babe? Okay.
No, she's not having it.
Okay, so let's start with the story that we tried to break down, but I failed endlessly at earlier, that Trump disclosed that he repaid his attorney, Michael Cohen, more than $100,000 last year. So is there any version of this payment where Trump didn't do anything wrong?
Listen, Rudy Giuliani came out and said this on an interview with Sean Hannity, and I think that was part of the strategy to get it out there because they knew this was going to be disclosed. I agree with you, Sonny, that there's a lot more questions about money. Ronan Farrow has done some great reporting in New Yorker. There's 2 other...
I have the Chief Justice for you.
I'll take it.
No, sir, he's here.
Send him in.
On the flip side, there's a lot that we don't know about the start of the investigation, and the IG is going to come out with a report in coming days that I think also needs to get as much time and coverage and attention.
Okay.
All right.
Apparently, they're still hung up on leaks at the White House, and they haven't sort of stepped up and made an apology for this ridiculousness that's been going on now. As the man, as the guy who's leading the country, would you feel better if he stepped up and said, "Listen, this is not what we're doing. We don't condone this."
Yeah, well,
apologize.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we cover all aspects of Washington, and as you know, it's very divided in the country. But there is something about decency. And I'm sorry that you and your family had to go through all that this week. Because, it shouldn't have to be that way. And I think it's important to make that clear.
Right.
Now, how they handle it and what they do, we're going to cover all sides of it. But I think as a country, we can be decent. And it pains us that you had to go through that.
So you think it would be a good idea?
I'm not advising it. I'm covering it.
No, I understand, but you're talking about decency, and decency is important. And we have lots of young people who watch your network, who are taking a page out of that book. And does it, as an American, does it bother you that we can't seem to just say, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake"?
Yes, and I cover all of this. And if you watch my show, some of the loudest critics of Fox don't watch my show. I'm the news side, and there's an opinion side.
Right.
And I say to people, just watch my show 3 times, and then drop me an email or a tweet. Tell me what you think. And so, I'm telling you as a person here, do I think decency should drive the day? 100%. I'm going to cover all sides. Fairly, so people can make up their mind.
I watch your show every night.
You are the news guy. You're not an opinion guy. You're not a pundit. Don't you think it's a dangerous time for the news right now with this idea that everything is fake? Everything he says, if he doesn't like it, if it's negative, Trump says it's fake news. I think that does you a disservice. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think that, any time that any reporter who's trying to report things fairly gets over their skis, no matter their ideological bent, it hurts us overall, journalistically. I saw Jake in this very hot seat, and I thought he did a nice job. But he said some things that I identified with, and that is, there are facts out there.
Yes.
And we need to try to strive to get there. But if you go too far and you throw your opinions into it, either side, it hurts us all journalistically.
But if Trump keeps lying every day, he's up to 9 a day. 9 a day.
Yeah.
How is anybody going to his base doesn't know what's the truth and what isn't the truth because they believe what he says.
Yeah. From their point of view, they say that the resistance is going over the top and lying about, X, Y, and Z. So you have to call facts facts. And I agree with you. You try.
Yeah.
It's like drinking from a fire hose, though. Every day, I'm 1 tweet away from changing my rundown.
Well, because it's so fluid and fast moving. But, people do see Fox News as the administration's mouthpiece. And I don't know that it helped that it's been reported that your colleague, Sean Hannity, talks to the president nightly before bed about the day's musings. Do you think that's appropriate? I understand Sean is on the opinion side of the network.
Right.
But as a representative of the network that Sean is
right.
that
well, first
appropriate?
of all, the network overall is not a mouthpiece. You know, there may be opinion shows that have direct relationship with the president, and Sean is not calling me and giving me a download of the call.
Yeah.
I was on his show the other night, and he said to me, how much problem do I cause the news division? Scale of 1 to 10. And I said, you know, a solid 6, but it depends on the day. And listen, we're going to cover it. There are people who have opinions and are clearly driven and have a relationship with this president, and they're going to do their thing. I have horse blinders on from 6 to 7 to try to, you know, do all sides fairly.
Now, Bret, let's talk about your book, 3 Days in Moscow. It takes us back to a historic summit President Reagan orchestrated 30 years ago, and it's coming on the heels of President Trump's own summit with North Korea, which
may not happen.
Could be iffy, we don't know. Tell us a little bit about it.
So I wrote the book. It's the same format that I wrote this other book about Eisenhower, 3 Days in January. And it looked at the 3 last days of the Eisenhower administration and kind of bounced back and showed how Eisenhower got there. Well, this is the Moscow summit, the 4th with Reagan and Gorbachev. And the 3 days there that we uncovered all these new details and stories. And I bounced back and show how Reagan gets to that moment. You know, he talked about communism falling apart all throughout his life. But that relationship with Mikhail Gorbachev changed the whole dynamic. And when he speaks to Moscow State University students, it's really something. If you just Google it and you watch it on YouTube, no matter your ideology, left or right, it'll give you goosebumps.
Well, you know, Reagan and Gorbachev had a great relationship, I remember. And Gorbachev was a good guy. I don't know about this one with Putin and Trump, though. I mean, I'm very suspicious of this particular relationship. Are you?
And you should be.
Yes.
I think that, you know, it's clear that Russia attacked the United States, and in a big way.
That's right.
And I don't think we know fully the extent of that. I will say that they've been attacking the U.S. for 8 decades, you know, going back to when Reagan was the head of the Screen Actors Guild. He was fighting communism because the Soviet Union was trying to get in. I think people want the president to speak out more about Putin. The administration.
Why doesn't he, do you think?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That's right.
Bret, I want to thank you so much for coming here. You know, I'm such a fan of yours professionally and personally, and I just want to thank you for your friendship for so long, you and your wife, and this amazing new book. All of you can come, and I'm sorry, you can also catch him on the special report every night. I'm not good at reading a prompter as you are, and his new book, 3 Days in Moscow, is available now. Everyone in here is getting a copy.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Alan Cumming, and you may have heard that I've been known to Google my co-stars naked. And as I'm co-starring with Whoopi, I thought I'd just... Oh my God. Wow. Whoopi. Goodness. Well.
Oh yeah, this table has heard it all. Because this is the place where people come to voice their view.
That's what The View does.
But this May, even we can't believe who's about to hit this table. Snoop Dogg, Alyssa Milano, Erica Jane, Michelle Wolf, and watch what happens with Andy Cohen.
You're welcome for that.
Plus, if you're looking for the hottest political exclusives, look no further than The View.
That's unbelievable.
Serving a View strong all May long.
Take a little time to enjoy The View.
Apparently, the TV show Instinct has already been renewed for a 2nd season. It stars the brilliant Alan Cumming. It's based on the brilliant James Patterson's best-selling book, and it has an incredible, solid supporting cast.
Are you in it?
I might be. Take a look.
Joan? Oh, Sia, I gotta talk to you. So Celia Baxter called me.
Oh, well, I did sing your praises.
Well, she wants me to edit her next book. We're meeting for lunch on Friday.
That's nice.
It's not nice at all. It's a miracle considering my history with her. You know, I passed on her first book. Look, I cannot rep you, okay? I hate the beginning, I hate the middle, and I hate the end. And I have to tell you, this title, I hate it too. It's boring, Celia.
Oh, God, I know how harsh you can be.
No, I wasn't harsh, I was honest. You know, and who knew she was going to go on to become an airport bestseller?
Well, not you.
No, clearly not.
That's funny.
It was funny.
So funny.
You got a future in this business, Whoopi Goldberg.
I might have a little future.
I like the hairdos. That first one was very cute.
Yeah, I like the
the thing, very cute. Do it.
So, like, I just recently learned that you probably like to Google naked pictures of your co-stars before you work with them.
What's up with that?
It's so weird. I said that in a talk show,
Right.
and it's because I was doing this film. And I was going to have sex with someone in the film, and so I Googled them. There's this nice boy called Zach. And I thought, I'll just, I knew he'd been in a film naked before, so I thought, I'll just have a look, see what I'm going to get. It's out there. Might as well. And then so sometimes I do. Yeah.
Did you find anything? You didn't find anything of me.
No, I was acting that little bit.
It was research.
Yeah, but it is actually a hilarious thing. Have you ever just put someone's name in, if you're looking them up, and then you just go, naked. Do the images.
Really?
Yeah, have you never done that?
No, I've never done that.
It's there.
I'm
You're not doing anything
people
bad.
literally just got off the couch and walked over to the computers and they're doing
And
it
then
now.
often they put like the different people's bodies on famous people. They'll put your head or somebody's body and things like that. That's hilarious
I'm
as
going to
well.
Google myself.
You should.
But you actually met Whoopi before you worked together on this. You guys are friends.
Way back.
Can you remember the first time your paths crossed? I might have heard a story.
Yes, it was when I was doing cabaret on Broadway the first time in 1998, and it was during previews, and it's all there's me, and it's like it was this time when everyone was saying, oh, this is going to be an amazing thing for you, your life's going to change, and I was really sort of like, what? I'd never worked in New York, I was on my own, I felt a bit overwhelmed, and I would go, and I had a great time, but I would go into the shower after each show and just cry, have a little cry to myself, just a little release the tension cry, and there was one night Whoopi came to see it, and I was in the shower, and I could hear her go, where is he? I want to meet him, where is he, where is he? And she was banging on the shower door. And I was inside the shower crying. That's
You
how
were
we
naked
met.
also.
I was naked then too, Joy,
naked.
yes. A penis emerged.
Yes.
Boundaries, Whoopi.
All right.
So, Alan, this actually really surprised me, but on instinct, you are the first openly gay lead character on a primetime network drama
Well,
ever.
yes, it's the first time on a network drama in America they ever had a gay person, gay character leading the show, ever.
Surprises me.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like it's been on...
But the gay lead character is he's not the focus of the show, though. Like, it just...
Well, he is, because he's the lead, but his gayness is not the focus. And that's what I think is really interesting about it. I think it's a big step forward in that usually when gay people or LGBTQ people of any sort actually are on a show, their sexuality is usually the focus of the storyline.
Yeah.
And it's usually in a negative way. There's something wrong, they're fighting something, they're sick, or
yeah.
So actually to have a character that's in a very strong, supportive, same-sex relationship, and that's not really mentioned that often, I think is a very positive way but in how we should be dealing with people who are different to us in all ways, actually.
It's true. Very true. I watch a lot of British television. They do that all the time. Now, I can tell from your accent that you're an immigrant.
I am.
And I like the accent very much. It's cute. But I was reading that you say that the word immigrant has a negative connotation at these times. Why do you say that?
Well, because of this president and the rhetoric that he is espousing I became a citizen 10 years ago. And I've got this new show, a concert show called Legal Immigrant. That's why I'm talking about this all the time. But, we hear all the time about these people coming, and these people are coming to take our... this constant rhetoric of negativity around people who are different and others. And it's just racism by another word. That's right. And I think that's what I found. It's an idea the idea that he espouses these views about immigration in such a negative way. His wife is an immigrant.
I know.
She was born in Slovenia. Yes. She became a citizen 2 years before me. His mother was I'm sad to say, Scottish.
His first
wife was an immigrant too. Half Scottish.
His wives.
All his wives.
Immigrant.
But he is the son of an immigrant, and yet he has this terrible way of talking so negatively, and it's infusing itself into the country, and there's a rise of racist and attacks and Islamophobia.
He doesn't say it about all immigrants. Like he likes Norwegians.
Yeah, he likes ones.
He probably likes Scottish.
Well, he does because we've got two golf courses.
There's tone that he has a problem with.
Do you think? I know.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really interesting thing in this country in general, though, that there's sort of anti-immigrant, and people say, I'm not an immigrant, I'm a settler or something ridiculous. And unless you're a Native American or an African American, because I don't think you being brought here in chains was an immigration choice.
No.
Then you are an immigrant. or a descendant of one. And why don't we have, and you know, it's such a diverse and rich country, and it's been made rich and diverse by all the people who've come here. So why don't we celebrate that instead of denigrate it? I just don't
Hopefully we will. But let's also celebrate your new movie called Show Dogs, which looks right up our alley. Tell us about it.
Oh, well, it's this film about show dogs. That was me. I'm the Yorkie.
Oh, it's great.
I played the voice of the Yorkie, and it's about I know it's ridiculous.
You should have been a Chihuahua.
I know. Don't you think I look like an evil Jennifer Aniston? And you know, when I did an episode, because I wasn't, you know, there, I just did my voice in the studio, and I did an episode of Doctor Who recently, and the makeup lady had done that film, and she said to me that for that dog to have that look, they had to give it extensions. Seriously, they had to give a Yorkshire Terrier extensions. Showbiz!
You are welcome here anytime, as you know.
I'm having a blast.
We love having you. Come co-host one day.
Oh, I did that before. I did that once. It was such fun. Barbara shoplifted.
Instinct airs Sunday nights. Check your local listings. And Show Dogs is in theaters right now. And we, of course, will be right back.